Let me take you somewhere powerful, into the truth that has shaped every great life the world has ever known. Every legend you've heard of, every name carved into history, every person who rose from nothing to greatness. They all began in the same place, the battlefield of the mind. Think of Thomas Edison, who failed over 1,000 times before giving light to the world. Think of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in a prison cell and walked out not with hatred, but with unshakable peace. Think of Oprah Winfrey, who rose from poverty and pain to become a voice of empowerment for millions. Think of Steve Jobs, who was fired from his own company, only to return and change the entire world through vision and perseverance. Think of J.K. Rowling, who was rejected again and again, living on welfare before she wrote the story that inspired a generation. What do they all have in common? It wasn't luck. It wasn't privilege. It was mental strength. The kind of unbreakable mindset that refuses to surrender, that turns pain into power and obstacles into opportunity. They didn't just dream, they believed when no one else did. They didn't wait for perfect conditions, they created them. They didn't let the world define them, they defined the world around them. Because the truth is, life doesn't reward the fastest or the smartest. It rewards the ones who refuse to quit. The ones who choose resilience over regret. The ones who stand tall when everything else falls apart. Mental strength is not loud, it doesn't need applause. It is silent, steady, and relentless. It is the fire that burns in those who know that no matter how dark it gets, they were built to rise. And that is what this message is about. The mindset of the unstoppable, the habits, the discipline, the unshakable courage of those who choose to live with strength when weakness would be easier. Because mentally strong people don't follow the crowd, they lead themselves. They don't seek comfort, they seek growth. They don't live by fear, they live by faith. So, as you listen today, remember this. One idea, one decision, one shift in how you think can change your entire destiny. The greatest power in the world is not around you, it's within you. And the moment you learn to master your mind, the moment you stop letting the world dictate how you feel, you will become unstoppable. Stay with me until the end of this message, because what you'll hear today could be the spark that awakens your inner strength, the one that has been waiting quietly inside you all along. Today, you're not just going to listen to words, you're going to remember who you truly are: powerful, capable, unbreakable. This is the mindset of the mentally strong. Mentally strong people don't waste time feeling sorry for themselves. They understand that self-pity is one of the most dangerous emotions a human can entertain. It weakens the spirit, poisons the mind, and blinds you from the power you already possess. Every time you allow yourself to say, "Why me?" you give away a piece of your strength. Life is not fair, and it never promised to be. The moment you accept that truth is the moment you free yourself from the illusion of victimhood. The mentally strong know that life doesn't owe them anything. They owe life their best effort, their courage, their persistence, and their determination to rise no matter how many times they fall. When difficulties come, the weak ask, "Why is this happening to me?" The strong ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" That one question separates the defeated from the unstoppable. Self-pity keeps you trapped in a cycle of complaint and comfort, while strength pulls you into a cycle of growth and greatness. The truth is, you cannot move forward if your eyes are fixed on what you've lost. You cannot see opportunity if your focus is on the pain. The mentally strong person feels pain deeply, but instead of drowning in it, they transform it into purpose. They let the fire of adversity forge them into something unbreakable. Think of every person who has risen from hardship to greatness. They all share one thing in common: they refuse to feel sorry for themselves. They could have chosen bitterness, but they chose discipline. They could have chosen resentment, but they chose resilience. They could have cried endlessly about their struggles, but instead they decided to fight. When you stop feeling sorry for yourself, you awaken a sleeping power inside you, The realization that you are responsible for your own life. No one is coming to save you. No one is obligated to make your dreams come true. It's up to you to rise. Self-pity is seductive. It whispers to you that you are helpless, that the world has been unfair, that you deserve sympathy instead of strength. But sympathy doesn't change anything. It doesn't rebuild what was lost. It doesn't heal what's broken. And it doesn't create a future. Strength does. Courage does. Action does. The mentally strong understand that while they cannot control every event in life, they can always control their response. They turn every setback into a stepping stone. They see obstacles not as walls, but as mirrors, reflections showing them what must be strengthened within. Every time you choose strength over sorrow, you grow. Every time you choose action over excuses, you evolve. The mentally strong have learned that suffering can either destroy you or develop you, and that choice belongs entirely to you. When life breaks your heart, you have two paths: to stay broken or to rebuild stronger. The moment you choose to rise from your pain instead of surrendering to it, you become unstoppable, because no external force can defeat a person who refuses to feel defeated internally. Mentally strong people take ownership. They do not blame others for their circumstances. They do not wait for someone else to fix their problems. They look at their situation with clear eyes and say, "This is where I am. Now what can I do to move forward?" They understand that life is not always just, but growth is always possible. They know that pain can make them bitter or make them better, and they always choose better. They take responsibility, and with responsibility comes power, because when you take ownership of your life, you also take control of your destiny. When you waste time feeling sorry for yourself, you hand over your control to the past. You allow what's behind you to dictate what's ahead of you. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim your future. You say to life, "You may have hurt me, but you will not define me." That mindset is the foundation of mental strength. The mentally strong rise not because life is easy, but because they have chosen to stop complaining about the difficulty and start mastering it. They understand that no one admires a victim. The world admires the fighter who keeps moving, the dreamer who keeps believing, the warrior who keeps standing even when everything hurts. They know that no one can climb a mountain by sitting at its base and weeping. To reach the summit, you must climb, and to climb, you must rise every time you fall. The mentally strong replace tears with tactics, pain with purpose, and weakness with will. They use their suffering as fuel. Every scar becomes a story of strength, every failure becomes a lesson in resilience, and every wound becomes a weapon of wisdom. When life gets hard, and it will, they don't ask for easier paths, they build stronger legs. They don't wait for the storm to pass. They learn to dance in the rain, because they know that strength is not built in comfort. It's forged in struggle. Every challenge you face is an invitation to grow tougher, wiser, and more determined. And those who refuse to waste time on self-pity are the ones who rise above the crowd. Understand this truth. The world doesn't stop for your pain. Life goes on, with or without your permission. You can either sit in sorrow or stand in strength. Every second you spend feeling sorry for yourself is a second you could have spent changing your circumstances. The mentally strong know that emotion is natural, but dwelling in it is destructive. They allow themselves to feel, to grieve, to process, but they never allow those emotions to chain them. They know when to rise. Self-pity may seem comforting at first, but it will slowly drain your energy, your creativity, and your drive. The mentally strong choose empowerment over excuses. They don't say, "I can't." They say, "I will find a way." They don't say, "It's not fair." They say, "It's my test." They don't say, "I've been defeated." They say, "I'm not done yet." That is the mindset of a conqueror. When you stop wasting time feeling sorry for yourself, you free up time to actually build the life you want. You become focused, determined, and resilient. You begin to see possibilities where before there was only pain. You begin to act instead of react. And slowly, That mental discipline turns into unstoppable momentum. Remember this: no one has ever changed their life by complaining about it. The ones who rise are the ones who refuse to stay down. The ones who win are the ones who keep fighting after losing. The ones who grow are the ones who learn from their wounds instead of worshiping them. So stop feeding the voice that says, "You can't." Stop nurturing the story that says, "Life is unfair." Start asking, "What can I do with what I have right now?" Because within you lies an ocean of strength waiting to be awakened. Every trial you've faced has prepared you for this moment. Every pain you've endured has built the muscles you now carry. You are stronger than you think. You are tougher than your tears, greater than your grief, and more powerful than your pain. But you will never know it until you stop feeling sorry for yourself and start moving toward your purpose. Life will never be perfect, but you can be powerful. And the moment you choose strength over sorrow, resilience over regret, action over excuses, that is the moment you take control of your destiny. Because the mentally strong don't wait for life to be kind, they become unstoppable despite it. Mentally strong people don't give away their power. They understand that life is not about controlling everything that happens. It's about mastering how they respond to everything that happens. Power is not found in titles, money, or influence. True power is the ability to remain calm in chaos, confident in uncertainty, and unshaken when the world tries to break you. The moment you allow someone or something outside of you to control your emotions, your peace, or your attitude, you have handed over your power. The mentally strong never do that. They know their emotions belong to them, their reactions belong to them, and their energy belongs to them. And they guard those things like sacred treasures. Life is full of situations and people who will try to take your power. Someone will insult you, betray you, or disappoint you. Circumstances will turn against you. Things will happen that you didn't plan, didn't expect, and didn't deserve. But mentally strong people don't let those things define their mood, their day, or their destiny. They have learned the greatest truth of all: you cannot always control the storm, but you can always control your sail. They don't waste their strength fighting everything outside. They master everything inside. The weak give their power away every time they react emotionally to negativity. They let others dictate how they feel, how they think, and how they live. When someone criticizes them, they feel worthless. When someone praises them, they feel validated. When someone leaves, they feel broken. Their peace becomes dependent on people who don't even deserve that privilege. But the mentally strong know that no one can take from them what they don't give away. No insult can harm you unless you allow it. No betrayal can destroy you unless you surrender to it. No situation can control you unless you give it permission. Your power is your ability to choose your response. That is where freedom lies. No one can control your thoughts unless you allow them to. No one can dictate your attitude unless you hand it over. Mentally strong people walk through life with quiet confidence. They may face storms, but they are not shaken. They may feel pain, but they are not broken. They may stumble, but they never lose themselves, because they know that power doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the inside. Think about it: every great leader, every visionary, every individual who changed the world had this one trait in common: they refused to give away their power. When faced with criticism, they stood firm. When faced with rejection, they kept moving. When faced with defeat, they rose again. They understood that no matter what happened around them, what mattered most was what happened within them. They refused to be controlled by emotion, fear, or public opinion. Their calmness was their weapon, and their self-control was their strength. The truth is, no one can make you angry without your permission. No one can make you feel inferior without your agreement. You are not a puppet of other people's words or actions. You are the master of your mind. The mentally strong realize that reacting emotionally gives power to others, but responding with clarity keeps the power within. They pause before reacting, they think before speaking, and they choose peace over impulse. Because real strength is not loud, it's composed. It's not about dominating others, it's about dominating yourself. When you give away your power, you give away your peace. You let other people rent space in your mind, draining your energy and stealing your focus. The mentally strong don't allow that. They protect their inner world like a fortress. They are kind, but not easily manipulated. They are compassionate, but not easily controlled. They love deeply, but they do not lose themselves in the process. They set boundaries not out of ego, but out of wisdom. Because they know that the most powerful thing you can ever say is, I control me. You can't control how others treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control whether you crumble or conquer. That is where your strength lies, in response, not in circumstance. The mentally strong choose to remain grounded when life tries to shake them. They know that peace is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to stay centered in the middle of them. They train their minds to rise above noise, chaos, and negativity. Because once you learn to control your reactions, you take back your power from everything that seeks to control you. It's easy to blame others for how you feel. It's easy to say, he made me angry, or she ruined my day. But those are just excuses for giving away your power. No one can ruin your day unless you allow them to. No one can destroy your spirit unless you open the door and invite them in. The mentally strong know this truth intimately. That's why they stay calm under pressure, composed under criticism, and determined under doubt. They live with emotional discipline. Their peace cannot be bought, and their strength cannot be broken. They know that real control begins when you stop trying to control everything. It begins when you stop fighting the external and start mastering the internal. Every battle you fight inside yourself, against fear, anger, or resentment, is a victory that multiplies your strength. Every time you choose calmness over chaos, you take back a piece of your power. Every time you refuse to react emotionally, you build resilience. Every time you let go of what doesn't serve your peace, you grow stronger. The mentally strong understand that energy is precious. They don't waste it on drama, arguments, or trying to change people who don't want to change. They focus on what they can build, not what they can't control. They walk away from chaos not because they are weak, but because they are wise. They know that reacting to every provocation is the fastest way to lose your inner strength. And so they remain steady, patient, and powerful. This world is full of noise, opinions, criticism, gossip, and distraction. The mentally strong learn to stay centered in their truth. They don't chase validation or approval. They know who they are, what they stand for, and what they're capable of. That certainty is unshakable because it comes from within. Their confidence is quiet but unmovable, their self-respect unbending, their composure unbreakable. Every time you allow anger to control you, you lose. Every time you let fear dictate your choices, you lose. Every time you let doubt silence your potential, you lose. But every time you take a deep breath, pause, and respond with strength, you win. Every time you rise above insult, you win. Every time you maintain peace in chaos, you win. Every time you choose grace over reaction, you win. Because, in that moment, you prove that nothing outside of you has power over what's inside you. Your greatest weapon is self-control. Your greatest strength is composure. Your greatest freedom is emotional independence. That is what defines the mentally strong. They are not easily moved, not easily shaken, not easily broken. They hold their power tightly, not out of pride, but out of purpose. They know that when you own your emotions, you own your life. So never give away your power. Never let someone's behavior turn you into someone you're not. Never let the world dictate your peace. Stand firm, stay calm, keep your power within your hands, within your heart, within your mind. Because once you master yourself, no one, not life, not circumstance, not fear, can ever master you again. Mentally strong people don't fear change or challenge. They understand that growth lives on the other side of discomfort, and that comfort, while safe, is the slowest poison that kills potential. Change is not the enemy, it is the invitation to rise. Challenge is not punishment, it is the training ground of greatness. The weak resist change because it threatens their routine, but the strong welcome it because it strengthens their spirit. Life is a constant flow, an endless transformation, and only those who adapt, evolve, and embrace the unknown truly thrive. The mentally strong know that progress demands disruption. They are not afraid to start again, to walk into uncertainty, or to face the fire that refines them. They see change not as loss, but as the opportunity to become more than they were yesterday. Fear of change is what keeps most people stuck in mediocrity. It's the invisible chain that binds millions to the same habits, same comfort zones, same excuses. People fear the unknown because it feels uncertain, but what they don't realize is that staying the same is the most dangerous risk of all. The world moves forward, and if you refuse to move with it, you're left behind. Mentally strong people understand that comfort is temporary, and so is discomfort. The difference is that comfort keeps you where you are, while discomfort pushes you toward who you can become. They know that every great transformation begins with uncertainty. The seed that becomes the tree must first break apart in darkness. The athlete who becomes a champion must endure pain, sweat, and struggle. The person who becomes wise must first face confusion and doubt. Change feels uncomfortable because it's the process of rebirth. Growth is not gentle. It's a storm that tears apart what's weak to reveal what's strong. The mentally strong are not afraid of that storm. They walk through it with faith that every struggle, every challenge, every hard season is building the strength they'll need for the next chapter. They know that the pain of growth is far better than the regret of stagnation. You can't become stronger without resistance, and you can't become wiser without challenge. Every obstacle you face is not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. The weak see a wall and turn back. The strong see a wall and learn how to climb. The mentally strong don't run from difficulty. They run toward it, knowing that every test is a teacher and every hardship a hidden opportunity. They don't ask for easier paths, they ask for stronger legs. Change can be frightening because it demands that we let go of who we used to be. But the mentally strong understand that you can't hold on to the old and still reach for the new. You can't become the person you're meant to be while clinging to who you were. They release what no longer serves them. Habits, fears, relationships, even versions of themselves that no longer align with their purpose. They are not attached to what was, they are committed to what can be. They live by one simple truth: growth requires surrender. Every challenge in life carries a lesson, and the mentally strong never waste those lessons. They know that life's hardest seasons are often its greatest gifts in disguise. The failures that once broke them become the foundation of their wisdom. The heartbreaks that shattered them become the birthplace of their compassion. The rejections that humiliated them become the reason they built something greater. They see change as the sculptor of their soul. Where others see endings, they see evolution. Where others see problems, they see preparation. They understand that fear is natural, but submission to fear is a choice. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. Mentally strong people use fear as fuel. They feel it, acknowledge it, and then act anyway. They know that bravery is not loud, it's quiet determination in the face of uncertainty. It's that moment when your hands shake, your heart races, and you take the step anyway. That's what makes the difference between those who dream of change and those who live it. Change is the universe's way of asking, how badly do you want to grow? And challenge is its way of saying, show me. The mentally strong don't need to be told twice. They rise to the occasion. When life throws them into chaos, they don't panic, they adapt. When doors close, they don't cry, they find windows. When the plan falls apart, they build a new one. Flexibility is their weapon. Resilience is their armor. They bend, but they don't break. Many people spend their lives running from change, but the mentally strong chase it. They understand that the unknown is where transformation happens. The known feels safe, but nothing new grows there. If you only do what's comfortable, you will only have what's familiar. If you only walk paths you understand, you will never discover what you're truly capable of. The mentally strong take risks not because they love danger, but because they love growth. They would rather fail trying to evolve than succeed by staying small. They've learned to trust the process. Even when they can't see the outcome, they trust their ability to adapt, to learn, to rebuild. They believe in themselves more than they fear the unknown. They understand that every ending is just the beginning of something better, even if they can't see it yet. When others see loss, they see transformation. When others see chaos, they see creation. And yes, change hurts, challenge hurts, but nothing hurts more than living a life of untapped potential. Nothing is more painful than looking back and realizing you stayed the same because you were afraid to become more. The mentally strong use that truth as motivation. They remind themselves that time is moving whether they do or not, so they might as well move boldly. They know that stagnation kills dreams, but courage gives them wings. Every person who has ever achieved greatness faced a moment when they had to step into the unknown. They left behind the comfort of what they knew for the possibility of what could be. That's how every empire was built, every invention created, every life transformed through the courage to embrace change. The mentally strong don't wait until they feel ready. They move before they feel prepared, because they understand that growth happens through motion, not through waiting. They train their minds to say yes to evolution, yes to reinvention, yes to discomfort. When life demands a higher version of themselves, they answer the call. They do not cling to the old chapter when a new one is being written. They don't let fear of change rob them of the miracles waiting on the other side. They know that the person who resists change will always live the same story, but the one who embraces it can rewrite the entire book. So when change comes, and it will, don't shrink, don't hide, don't beg for things to stay the same. Stand tall, breathe deeply. Remember that every storm eventually clears, and every challenge carries a hidden gift. You are not being destroyed, you are being shaped. You are not losing control, you are gaining strength. You are not falling apart, you are being rebuilt into something greater. The mentally strong know that growth is a choice. Every day you can choose fear or faith, comfort or courage, safety or strength. The direction of your life depends on what you choose. Change is inevitable, but progress is optional. If you want to live powerfully, embrace change as your greatest teacher and challenge as your finest trainer. Because once you stop fearing change, nothing in this world can stop your growth. You don't just survive the storm, you become the storm. Mentally strong people do not dwell on the past or complain about the present because they understand one unshakable truth: life only moves forward. The past cannot be changed, and complaining cannot rewrite reality. They know that energy is life, and where you place your energy determines your future. Those who live in the shadows of yesterday cannot walk into the light of tomorrow. The mentally strong have learned to take the lessons, not the pain, the wisdom, not the wounds. They see the past not as a prison, but as a teacher that gave them the strength to rise higher. They refuse to be defined by what happened to them, and instead choose to be defined by how they responded to it. The world is full of people who carry their past like heavy chains. They replay old mistakes, old failures, old heartbreaks, as if the constant repetition could somehow undo them. But all it does is poison the present. The mentally strong understand that regret is a thief. It steals today while pretending to fix yesterday. They know the past has value, but only as a reference point, never as a residence. You can't drive forward by staring into the rearview mirror. Life demands forward motion, and those who cling to what's behind them can never grasp what's ahead. Every experience, good or bad, carries within it the seeds of strength. The mentally strong look at their scars not with shame, but with gratitude, because those scars remind them they survived. They don't wish things were different. They understand that everything they went through shaped their resilience, discipline, and wisdom. Pain was their teacher and failure was their guide. They learned that every setback, every disappointment, every betrayal served a purpose in molding them into who they are today. The difference between a broken person and a strong one is simple. The strong use their past as fuel, not a fortress. They refuse to waste time complaining about what they cannot control. Complaining is the language of the powerless. It changes nothing but drains everything. Every minute spent complaining is a minute stolen from creation, growth, and action. The mentally strong channel that energy into solutions. If something is within their control, they fix it. If it's beyond their reach, they release it. They don't waste words on blame, because blame is a form of surrender. The moment you blame, you give away your power to change. They'd rather focus on what can be done now, on the step that can be taken today, no matter how small. There's an inner calm that comes with strength, the kind of calm that doesn't depend on circumstances but on mindset. The mentally strong don't see the present as perfect, but they see it as potential. They understand that complaining about circumstances only magnifies their limits, while gratitude expands their possibilities. Even in difficulty, they find something to be thankful for, a lesson, a chance, a breath. They know that perspective is power, and the way you choose to see your life determines how you experience it. While the weak crumble under pressure, the mentally strong stand firm. They don't complain about the storm because they know storms are temporary. They understand that adversity is the price of progress. So instead of saying, "Why me?" they ask, "What is this teaching me?" That single shift in thinking changes everything. They know life will test them, but they also know those tests are opportunities to refine their courage and deepen their purpose. They have mastered the art of release. They release grudges, old anger, missed chances, and lost opportunities. They understand that holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the world to suffer. They know forgiveness is not weakness, it's freedom. It's not about letting others off the hook. It's about letting yourself move on. The mentally strong know that peace of mind is more valuable than pride, and that you cannot heal in the same space where you were hurt if you keep reopening the wound with memory. They focus on building rather than blaming, on creating rather than criticizing. Complaining is a reaction, building is a decision. Mentally strong people take responsibility for their lives because they know ownership is the first step toward transformation. They don't wait for luck or sympathy. They make progress with discipline and faith. They live by the truth that success isn't given, it's earned, one choice at a time, and that choice always begins in the present moment. The past is a story already written, and the present is the pen still in your hand. The mentally strong know this, and that's why they protect their mindset from nostalgia and negativity. They don't glorify the good old days or curse the current ones. They adapt, they learn, they evolve. They understand that the only constant in life is change, and they meet it with open eyes and a steady heart. Many people spend their lives trapped in regret, repeating the same emotional patterns because they never learned to let go. But the mentally strong refuse to let their past dictate their identity. They use every lesson to build new foundations. If they made a mistake, they take responsibility, extract the wisdom, and move forward with sharper vision. They don't run from accountability because they know accountability is growth. Every mistake is a mirror, and they face that mirror with honesty and courage. The truth is, you can't change the past, but you can change your interpretation of it. You can choose to see failure as final or as feedback. You can choose to see pain as punishment or as preparation. You can choose to see loss as the end or as the beginning of something new. The mentally strong choose interpretation that empowers, not weakens. They understand that perspective is the sculptor of destiny. They also know that the present moment is all they truly have. Yesterday is gone, and tomorrow isn't guaranteed. The mentally strong don't waste the gift of now by complaining. They act, they move, they build. Even small steps matter because movement creates momentum, and momentum transforms lives. They know that every big dream begins with small, consistent effort, and every victory is built on quiet persistence in the present. The mentally strong know how to stay grounded in chaos. When life shakes them, they don't lose their center. They understand that complaining changes nothing, but gratitude changes everything. Gratitude turns fear into faith, scarcity into abundance, and pressure into perspective. They practice gratitude not because life is perfect, but because it keeps their heart strong enough to handle what's not. No one can rewrite their story except them, and that's what gives them power. They live free from the weight of the past and the bitterness of complaint because they've learned the sacred art of moving forward. They've learned that no matter how hard the past was, it doesn't own them unless they keep reliving it. They've learned that no matter how challenging the present may seem, it's still filled with endless possibilities if they stay focused on solutions. And that's the difference between those who survive and those who rise. The ones who rise understand that every moment spent looking back is a moment lost from shaping what lies ahead. They don't waste their days regretting what could have been. They use those days building what will be. Their power is not in their past, it's in their presence. So when life tempts you to look back with regret or to complain about where you are, remember this: the mentally strong know that what's done is done, and what's possible is still waiting. You can't step into your destiny while dragging the weight of yesterday. Let go. Move forward. Stop complaining about what is and start creating what can be. Because every second you spend in negativity is a second stolen from greatness. The mentally strong have learned that peace, progress, and purpose all begin the moment you stop looking back and start living fully now. Life is not a battle of strength against weakness. It is a battle of the mind against limitation. Everything you've heard in this journey, every word, every truth, leads to one undeniable realization: mental strength is not something you are born with, it's something you build. It's the decision to stand tall when everything inside you wants to fall apart. It's the power to silence doubt, to rise from failure, to keep walking when the path is invisible. Mentally strong people don't live easier lives, they live with higher standards. They refuse to surrender their mind to fear, their energy to excuses, and their potential to comfort. They understand that every hardship, every setback, every disappointment is simply a call to become stronger. They know that success is not about luck, it's about mindset. The world doesn't shape them, they shape their world. They take the hits, they take the lessons, and they keep moving forward with clarity and conviction. While others are trapped by emotion, they are guided by purpose. While others dwell in the past, they build in the present. While others wait for the storm to pass, they learn to dance in the rain. Because to be mentally strong is to know that pain is temporary, but growth is eternal. There will always be moments when life tests you, when everything seems unfair, when your plans fall apart, and the people you trusted turn away. But in those moments, remember this: strength is not found in comfort, it's forged in struggle. Every challenge is your invitation to evolve. Every failure is a doorway to understanding. Every heartbreak is proof that you are still alive, still capable of rising higher. The mentally strong don't pray for an easier life, they pray for greater endurance, deeper faith, and the courage to keep moving. So take what you've learned here and make it your code. Don't waste time feeling sorry for yourself. Don't hand your power to anyone. Don't fear change. Embrace it. Don't dwell on what's gone. Create what's coming. Don't give up when life pushes back. Push harder. You are far stronger than you realize, and your potential is far greater than your past. The world needs people who refuse to be ordinary, people who live with discipline, courage, and vision. Be that person. stand as proof that strength of mind can move mountains. And as we close, remember this one truth: the mind is the greatest tool you will ever possess. Guard it, train it, and feed it with faith, purpose, and gratitude. Because once you master your mind, you master your life. Thank you for watching, for listening, and for believing in your own power. If these words moved you, let them not just inspire you, let them transform you. Live with purpose, walk with strength, and never forget your mind is your kingdom, and you are its ruler. Keep growing, keep rising, and keep becoming the strongest version of yourself. Thank you.